Have you ever wondered what this song from the Tomorrowland area music is? Or ever heard this punchline on the People Mover narration?
For your safety, if you have wings, jetpacks, or gravity stabilizers, please do not take flight while on board. Thank you.
Or wonder why these wings are called what they are. Or if you want to be really specific, why these chickens on the Buzz Lightyear ride are painted green. Well, that's because it was a part of a very interesting and not well known extinct Disney attraction in Tomorrowland called
If you had wings, you could do many things. You could widen your world if you had wings.
If You Had Wings was an attraction at the Magic Kingdom Park that opened in 1972. But first, before we start, we have to wind back to when the park first opened in 1971.
Do you know the way to the Magic Kingdom? I'll never get there. Never get there. Do you know the way to the Magic Kingdom? Sure I do. But can you fly?
You can fly to Walt Disney World in Florida on Eastern, the airline of Walt Disney World.
Eastern Airlines was the official airline of Walt Disney World, and they wanted to create a new attraction in Tomorrowland that helped promote the Eastern Airlines brand to a more widespread audience. Their idea was to create an attraction that took guests through the locations that Eastern Airlines traveled to. I think it was strange, but since air travel was becoming more mainstream and normal at the time, it made sense. The attraction was to be directly next to the Circle Vision 360 Theater and would start construction in 1971 and continue after the park opened. Scenes in the attraction would use what's called dimensional sets. There were 41 16mm screens that would be projected on the sets. There would also be 40 special lighting effect projectors, 370mm projectors, and a 35mm projector. The attraction opened on June 5th of 1972 and was dedicated on July 2nd of 1972. The ride was actually one of the only attractions in the park that didn't require the ticket system to enter, since it was just an advertisement for Eastern. The attraction used the OmniMover ride system, which took guests through a journey through various different countries and states that Eastern took you. These destinations include Mexico,
You could fly to a plaza where the people play. A holiday fiesta in the Mexican way.
the Caribbean islands,
Like a flying fish. Have a ball on a cruise ship. Or catch fish if you will.
Puerto Rico,
If you had wings, if you had wings, if you had wings, had wings, had wings, had wings.
the Bahamas,
You could flitter and flutter to the Isle of Green, to that emerald green garden, and do wonderful things.
Trinidad, and New Orleans.
You could fly with flamingos to that old French town. Go on regal New Orleans, wears a carnival crown. If you had wings, if you had wings, if you had wings, had wings, had wings.
The attraction's theme song was written by Buddy Baker, with the lyrics being written by X Atencio. There was no definitive story of the attraction, it was just an advertisement for Eastern Airlines and there was really nothing else to it. However, I do like to point out how the queue has you waiting at a very retro-futuristic 1970s airport terminal. I think it's very cool. In 1987, Eastern decided to not renew their sponsorship of the attraction and the sponsorship for Walt Disney World. Disney removed all references to Eastern, made new music, and renamed the attraction to If You Could Fly. At this time, Disney would find a new official airline for Walt Disney World.
Hi, I'm Stacy, and I'd like to tell you about a very special friendship Delta now shares as the official airline of the Walt Disney World Resort in Orlando, Florida.
Delta Airlines was to sponsor the new version of the attraction, which would open in mid to late 1989. If You Could Fly remained open for another year or so before closing in early 1989 for the overhaul. The attraction was closed for several months while Disney Imagineers worked on retheming the attraction. The newly created Delta Dream Flight opened on June 23rd of 1989, and the interior was reworked. The airport terminal had received a big update, which received the addition of the end nose and cockpit of an actual Delta 767 airline. The updated version of the attraction kept the same ride system and layout, but the music and the previous scenes were all changed. The new attraction took guests on a journey through the history of air travel, showcasing various planes and aviation technology throughout the years. Riders passed through scenes of barnstormers, an M130, Tokyo, and Paris in the 1930s. It would also take you through the Jet Age, and the future of air travel, which would use the speed room from If You Had Wings.
Delta welcomes you back from your dream flight, the fantasy flight of your life.
The attraction was yet again another big advertisement for Delta Airlines, but it was actually a lot more creative and enjoyable than If You Had Wings. Delta Dream Flight remained open until 1996, when Delta announced that it would end its sponsorship of the attraction and stop being the airline of Walt Disney World. The ride had all aspects referring to Delta changed and removed. This includes a music rewrite, which was not as charming as the original, sadly. The ride was renamed to Take Flight and reopened in 1997 for just under a year before closing it again for another major overhaul.
The #1 video and DVD event of the year.
Can you believe it?
Is too funny.
Geronimo!
Don't talk to any toy you don't know!
Too exciting.
I'm tour guide Barbie!
I'm a marriage spud, I'm a marriage spud, I'm a marriage spud.
Make room for the single fellas.
Too good to see just once.
There seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
Toy Story 2, coming to video and DVD Tuesday, October 17th.
In early 1998, Take Flight would be closed to make way for a new attraction. Pixar's Toy Story franchise had been growing widely since it first came out in November of 1995. Disney wanted to make a new interactive game experience using the ride vehicles to shoot space aliens on a different planet. Since Toy Story 2 was in development at the time, Disney wanted to make the new Buzz ride based off that movie. Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin was to be the new name of the attraction. The ride officially opened on October 7th of 1998, and it still holds as a Disney fan favorite attraction to this day. There sadly is no remnants of If You Had Wings, besides the old ride system and layout. But there is, however, a few remnants of Delta Dreamflight. A famous example are the chickens from the barnstorming scene, which are seen in Dreamflight, but they were painted green and reused for the Planet Sea section of the Buzz ride. Here's another one that people don't really know. In the beginning scene as you're on the spinning spaceship, it actually uses the same turntable from Delta Dreamflight. I'm not sure if it still spins, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Another cool element that was kept from Dreamflight and used for Buzz for a couple of years was in the escape hatch room, where it would blow fog at you, which would simulate clouds in Dreamflight. It was used for Buzz when it first opened, but after many years, the fog machine kept breaking down and Disney ultimately decided to not fix it. It remains off to this day, sadly, but next time you ride the attraction, you probably would be skeptical where everything in the past versions of the attraction was. I sure was. My name is Twisted, and I'll see you all in the next video.